Welcome to GC Reddy Technologies. Selenium Fresher Resume Preparation. Generally, IT fresher resumes are having common fields irrespective of the technology. But nowadays, fresher resume shows interest in some technologies. Fresher can be used for any technology based on company's requirement, but you can show your interest in your resume. Nowadays, some companies are recruiting fresher based on their interest and knowledge. But in campus recruitments, companies recruit fresher irrespective of the technology and only based on their academic qualification and other skills. After recruitment, then they will train them based on company's requirement. In this video, Selenium Fresher Resume Preparation, I am focusing automated testing using Selenium. And if you are fresher and want to start career in software testing field, then focus on software testing skills in your resume, even though you are fresher. Next, important fields in IT fresher resume are resume header. I will explain one by one. Next, career objective, skill summary. Next, academic qualification, software skills or technical skills. Next, academic project, if available, if you are a computer graduate like BTech, computer science or IT or MCA or MSc computers. If you have any academic project, you can mention that project details in your resume. Next, last one, personal details. But this format is not mandatory. No restrictions and no limitations for preparing the fresher resume, but write it clearly in easily understandable format, and you must familiar with your resume details. Don't write unnecessary things in your resume. You must familiar with your resume details. Actually, we prepare our resumes in Microsoft Word document in order to explain the concepts in detailed manner. That is not the criteria. For clarity, I am using Notepad, but we prepare our resumes in MS Word document. Okay. First, Selenium Fresher Resume Preparation. First field in the resume, header. In this header, we mention name of the applicant. Next, email ID for communication. Next, mobile number for communication. Name, email ID, mobile number are important fields in this header. Next field, career objective. In this field, just write your career objective in simple manner. For example, looking for software functional testing engineer or fresher position in a well-known organization, which gives me an opportunity to exhibit my technical skills and giving scope for career. Next, important field in the resume, skill summary. Here first, mention your manual testing skills. Why? Even though you are focusing Selenium, automated testing using Selenium, manual testing is mandatory. It is base. Selenium testing, Selenium experience or Selenium knowledge means manual testing plus Selenium. If it is knowledge or experience, okay. Skill summary. In the skill summary field, you mention first manual testing skills, Then your automated testing knowledge, you are a fresher, knowledge using Selenium with Java, TestNG, etc. based on your knowledge. First one, knowledge on understanding and analyzing test requirements. It is important. If it is manual testing or automated testing, knowledge on understanding and analyzing software requirements is important. Next, knowledge on various phases of software development lifecycle and software testing lifecycle. Software development lifecycle, actually it is developer's concern, but our testing is part of software development. So we must be familiar with this SDLC. Next, SDLC is mandatory for our test engineers. For example, phases may vary from one company to another or one project to another, but some common phases are software development lifecycle, requirements gathering, analysis and planning, software design, coding or implementation, next testing, next last one, release and maintenance. You must familiar with this with these software development life cycle phases. Next, our important one, software test life cycle or software testing process phases. Software test planning, software test design, software test execution, next evaluating exit criteria, next software test closure. Next, knowledge on various levels of testing and test types. So actually, we independent testers conduct testing in system testing level, testing on integrated system using black box test design techniques. But we need to familiar with other test levels also. Just what is what? Unit testing. Developers conduct unit testing, but just to know about the unit testing. What is unit testing? Unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing levels. But our level is system testing. Next, familiar with the test types. Okay, knowledge on test types. We mentioned example. Software test type, functional testing, non-functional testing, etc. Important are functional testing and non-functional testing. In non-functional testing, so many subtypes are available. Performance testing, usability testing, configuration testing, reliability testing, next localization testing and internationalization testing, etc. See, knowledge on various software test levels and various software test levels like unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. Next, knowledge on various test types like functional testing, non-functional testing, performance testing, next to usability testing, hardware configuration testing, localization testing and internationalization testing, reliability testing, etc. non-functional. But in software industry, 75 to 80% market share is functional testing. Remaining 20 to 25% only non-functional testing. So focus more on functional testing. Functional testing having nearly 80% market share in software testing industry. And one more thing, our Selenium tool also for functional testing, automated functional testing using Selenium. Next point, familiar with all points in your resume. Otherwise, you remove those points. If you don't familiar with some concepts, remove. You must familiar with your resume details. Ability to create test scenarios, test cases, and collect test data. Why collecting test data instead of preparing test data? Some test data testers prepare. For example, phone number object takes 10-digit numeric value. For that, we can prepare test data. Suppose in our application home page, 20 elements are there. 4 edit boxes, 4 links, 2 images, etc. The data we have to collect from development team. Why? Developers only know the application design details, error messages, help messages that we have to collect from developers. Why? They only know the application design details. Say, some test data we prepare, some test data we need to collect from developers, and some test data we need to collect from customers also. For example, we are testing one functionality, that functionality related to customer's business. Customer business available in some cities. We need to collect that some cities information from customer. Customer only know the their cities information. Okay. Next, knowledge on defect reporting and tracking. Manually means using Excel sheet, using company prescribed defect report template, and using test tool like Bugzilla or Jira or ALM, etc. So you need to familiar with in defect reporting and tracking. No coding, only documentation. So familiar with manual defect reporting as well as tool-based defect reporting. Okay, that's why we mentioned knowledge on defect reporting and tracking for status. After fixing the defects by developers, tracking for status manually and using test tool like Bugzilla. Next, familiar with software test documents like test plan, test case, defect report, test metrics report, and test summary report, etc. Next, knowledge on our important area, Selenium, but manual plus Selenium, both required. Manual plus Selenium, our focus. Knowledge on automated testing using Selenium with Java and TestNG. See, Selenium supports 6 programming languages to write test scripts: Java, Perl, Python. Next, .NET, C#, .NET, Ruby, and PHP. Suppose we select Java. Nowadays, Java, nearly 77% Selenium testers are using Java. So we selected Java. Familiar with Java programming. Selenium with Java and TestNG Testing Framework. Okay. Next, knowledge on writing Selenium test scripts using Selenium. In interviews also you can elaborate this point. I have knowledge on Selenium test cases or test scripts writing using element locators and Selenium WebDriver commands, etc. Next, knowledge on Java programming. In Selenium testing we use Java Standard Edition. Java has 3 important editions: Java Standard Edition or Core Java, Java Enterprise Edition or Advanced Java, and third one Java Micro Edition for small devices like mobiles and tablets. But for our test automation, Advanced Java is not required. Java Micro Edition also not required. Java Standard Edition or public term or mass term Core Java. Official term is Java Standard Edition or Java Java SE. Okay. Next, knowledge on TestNG Testing Framework. It is for grouping test cases, prioritizing test cases, conducting batch testing, parallel testing, and generating test reports. Next, Maven. Maven is build automation tool. It is for easily configuring and maintaining Selenium environment. It is build automation tool. It is for Java, but in our scenario, it is for easily configuring and maintaining Selenium test environment. And Jenkins, it is continuous integration tool. Next, knowledge on batch testing, executing series of tests. Knowledge only. Why? We are fresher, so don't write experience in some area, like just knowledge on batch testing. Batch testing means executing series of test cases or test scripts. Next, data driven testing, executing the same test cases or same functionalities using multiple sets of test data for positive and negative testing, data driven testing. We can conduct batch testing, data driven testing, cross browser testing, and database testing using Selenium. So we mentioned knowledge on batch testing, data driven testing, cross browser testing, and database testing using Selenium. Next, operating system point of view, familiar with Microsoft Windows and Unix operating environments. Nowadays, 80 to 85% client side market share is MS Windows. I think all of you familiar with the Microsoft Windows operating environment, but try to familiar with Unix operating environment also. It has only 10 to 15% market share only, but it is an added advantage. Okay, familiar with MS Windows and Unix operating environments. Next, our job is quality job, software testing for quality. Testing improves quality. So knowledge on quality standards like ISO, IEEE, and CMMI. CMM scrapped, now CMMI, capability, maturity, matrix, integration. Next, on communication point of view, general point, communication skills. See, first we discussed hard skills. Our subject skills are hard skills. Now focus on one soft skill also. Say, IT professionals must have hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills means our subject knowledge. Suppose Selenium knowledge, Java knowledge, TestNG knowledge, etc. Those are hard skills. Next, soft skills, communication skills. Next, presentation skills, etc. Soft skills. Okay. Soft skills point of view, one point in our resume skill summary: good communication skills. Next, committed, result oriented, and hard working with a quest and zeal to learn new technologies. Okay, over. So far we discussed 3 fields in this fresher resume. First one, resume header. Next, career objective. Next, important one, skill summary. Next one, academic qualification. As a fresher, you mention your detailed academic qualification. First, for example, highest qualification, BTech, Computer Science and Engineering from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, JNTU, in 2000 year something, with some percentage. Next, intermediate from BIE, Board of Intermediate Education, NBKR Science and Arts College, Vijayanagar, passed in some year with some percentage. Next, SSC from School of Secondary Education, AP, in 2000 something with some percentage. So mention your detailed academic qualification. Next, on optional field, training programs attended. It is optional. If you mention this one, it will increase the clarity of your resume. Otherwise, no problem, you can leave it. Suppose I attended Java Standard Edition or Core Java training program. Next, manual testing and automated testing using Selenium. Okay, I forgot one point, I think. in the skill summary, already wrote knowledge on SQL and database testing fundamentals. Nowadays, it is important for either manual testers or automated testers. If you conduct manual testing or automated testing using Selenium or UFT or any other tool, SQL knowledge is mandatory. We use SQL commands in manual testing and automated testing for conducting database testing. So you mentioned this point also. I already mentioned, but I didn't explain. Knowledge on SQL, structured query language, and database testing fundamentals. Next, Unix environment. Operating system wise, Windows, Unix. Next, database wise, knowledge on SQL. Next, manual testing, our core area, Selenium with Java and TestNG. Next, soft skills, good communication and etc. Next, academic, over. Next, training programs attended, Java, standardization or core Java. Next, software testing, manual testing and automated testing using Selenium. Next, if you have, next one also optional field, if you have any software testing certifications, here you mention. For example, ISTQB foundation level certification in December 2017 or other year. This ISTQB foundation level certification, vendor neutral certification, means it is not related to any test tool. It is on manual testing. Nowadays, if you have any one testing certification, then you will get an added advantage. Nowadays, most of the companies preferring software testing certifications. See, here I mentioned ISTQB foundation level certification. It is manual testing certification, but important. Okay, try to get any one software testing certification. It will give an added advantage to your resume if you are a fresher or experienced. Next field, technical skills or software skills. Here you mention general technical skills or software skills. For example, operating systems, Windows 10, this is client-side operating system. Next, Windows 2008, it is server-side operating system, and Unix. Next, testing tools. I have knowledge on UFT, Selenium, for example, but my main focus area is Selenium. Next, programming languages, C, VB script, and Java. Next, databases. I have some knowledge on SQL Server, Oracle. Next, web technologies. I am familiar with HTML. Why we are going to conduct web testing using Selenium. Selenium supports web-based applications. So familiar with web environment. Say I have some knowledge on web technologies like HTML, XML, and JavaScript, CSS, etc. Next, documentation. For software testing, documentation is important. We document our testing resources. In manual testing, writing test scenarios, cases, test data, etc. So documentation is important part in our software testing. So I am familiar with Microsoft Office and OpenOffice. It is also like Microsoft Office, and it is for Unix environment. Okay, forget about OpenOffice. MS Office is mandatory for software testers. Next, already I told, if you have a computer graduate like BTech Computer Science and Engineering or BTech IT or MCA or MSc Computers, mention your academic project details. Suppose you are other graduate like BTech Mechanical or BTech EEE, BTech civil, etc. You no need to mention this academic project details. If you have any project knowledge in private institutions, you can mention that one. Just otherwise leave it. In this academic project, you here 3 columns. One is project information, title of the project, technologies used for the project, means application environment. Next, operating systems. You mention project information. Next, project description here. Suppose this is online shopping application. Mentioned admin interface and user interface important functionalities. First one, project information. Second one, project description. Third one, our job responsibilities. Say here I mentioned the job responsibilities in development variation. Most of the engineering colleges and other colleges, they are preferring development projects. Nowadays, testing projects also accepting, but most of the colleges preferring development projects. Suppose here I wrote responsibilities in development orientation and one testing point also, your job responsibilities. Next, last one, personal details. Here you mention your name, if required, father's name, date of birth, next status, nationality, blood group, next address for communication, languages known, etc. Next, last one, reference. Suppose if you have any reference, you mention those details, otherwise leave it this one. So this is about preparing Selenium Fresher resume. Thank you.